What's up, everybody? Mathias here. I'm going to show you how to mix metal guitars, specifically rhythm guitars for a metalcore or whatever. I'm just going to show you the principles on how I EQ these and how I compress these a little bit, and just the entire thing on how I achieve my guitar tones. Or not achieve my guitar tones, that's going to be a separate video, but I will do one on that too, so don't worry. Okay. So first off, I'm going to show you what the guitar sounded like without even any processing. So this is just the amp simulator right here. And this is just a tube screamer or an overdrive pedal. So this is what it sounds like with just the guitar tone itself. So now you have an idea of what they sound like before even any processing. You should try to get your guitar tones as close as possible to the final product before you even get to the EQing and all that stuff. Otherwise, you might end up EQing your guitar tone to death, and that's not what we want for you. Okay, so let's open up our EQ here. As you can see, I've done a lot of EQ moves here. On this song particularly, it's because it's a very dense mix. There's a lot going on. As you can see here, there are quite a few tracks of stuff, which means I had to carve a lot of space to make things work. So let's check it out anyways. So this is with my EQ on. So pretty much all I've done here is filter out low end, because typically in a dense metal mix or any metal mix, the guitars don't need too much low end. How high you go with the high pass here, that is very dependent on the tuning of the song. The lower the tuning, the lower you can go with this unless you want to really filter it out. But usually if it's a really low tuning, you might end up ruining your tone if you remove too much low end. On this one, the bass stands for a lot of the guitar sound as well, which is typically the standard for metal productions anyways. So I could get away with ruining or taking out a bit of the low end here. What I also did next was I took out some low mids. So I'll boost this for you and you can check what it sounded like. You can hear there's pretty much just a noise. It's like the woo kind of noise. And that's not something that you really need in there. I tend to look for these weird constant noises that doesn't go away. So if I boost here and I can hear that that the annoying sound is there all the time, whatever the guitar is playing, then most likely that's something I can dip out a little bit. But don't go overboard unless you really know what you're doing. I'd recommend that if you're new to EQing, only maybe use maximum 3 of these notch dips. And of course the filtering of the high end and the low end. And that should be enough. Here I did some surgical cuts because it made sense for this mix, but you don't always have to go crazy with this. Sometimes I only do a high pass like this, a low pass like this, and maybe a dip here and a dip here, and that's fine. So sometimes you don't need a lot. That's all I'm trying to say here. Also, I did a little boost here at 7K. So if you check it without it, and then with it, it just increased some attack and excitement and energy to the guitars, and it also brought out the genty vibes in the guitar tone, if that's even a real way to say it, but that I'm gonna stick with that. And of course, try to kill 4K. This is around 4K anyways. It doesn't have to be exactly 4K, but listen to this shit. Yeah, not pleasant. I'm not gonna kill you with that. Too much 4K will kill your ears and make your mixes unbearable. And also I like to filter out, so everything above, sometimes I go down to 9K, but usually 10, 11K, around there, is perfect for removing sizzling noises up here. So let's check it out with and without. You can hear how it just cleaned up the entire high end, and you don't ruin the guitar tone either, because the guitar lives kind of between 10K to, well, all the way down pretty much, but up here it's just static noise and distortion, excess noise. And you can check out how the low end gets affected by the high pass here. It's a lot of rumble down there as well that you don't really need. And pretty much that's it for the EQ. To explain how I find these spots, I basically take one of these and then I sweep around. Until I find something I don't like, and then I play with this Q value to make sure I don't remove too much of it or too little. And usually to know how to keep the Q value, you have to trust your ears and train your ears. But eventually you'll be able to hear that, okay, this was good. Now I removed enough of it to not be annoying, but I still kept enough of it to not kill the tone. So that's pretty much it. I might make a more in-depth video on EQing, where I really show you the nitty-gritty details of my thought process and all of that. So lastly but not least, I put a compressor to the guitar tracks. So this is without it and with it. Once again, this doesn't make a huge difference, but at the same time, it makes a huge difference. It brings out the attack. It makes the djenty parts really pop the way you want them to. And it brings out some aggressiveness in the guitars and evens them out nicely and just keeps them in a nice position in the mix. What I like is to only have a gain reduction of about maximum 3 dB on rhythm guitars, especially heavily distorted ones. But don't take that as a rule of thumb. But you can always start from there, and if you feel like you want more compression, then do it. Do what sounds good to you. I'm also gonna have a video up on compression, how to use compression, when to use compression, what compression does, and what it is, to clear things up for you who are new to this. So don't worry about that. And when that video comes up, I will have a link in the description to every newcomer that watches this video. That's you. Hello. Okay, so this is what they sound like in the mix. And this is without the processing we did. I don't know if you could hear the difference. It's quite subtle, but I promise you in certain speaker systems, this made a huge difference. Okay, well, that's it. Thank you for watching. Comment. Please let me know if I can do these videos better for you. If you learned something, that's great. I'd love to know if you felt like this was helpful. Always makes me happy to hear that I could help someone. Also, let me know if you have any questions or anything you want me to do a video on. I'd love to make more tutorials for you people and more valuable videos that you actually want, about things that you actually want to know. Sorry for stumbling on the words here. I'm not having the best day when it comes to speaking. So that's it. Thank you again. See you in the next one. subscribe, like, share with your friends, and have a great day. Okay, bye-bye.